Let's talk Ezra Bridger and the Spectre Tag. More importantly, the Spectre Tag, but we'll talk about Ezra Bridger. So, Ezra Bridger was revealed 2 days ago from Meathead. He'll be the next Conquest character, which I'll have a guide out on his Conquest when we get the feed details for that. Most important thing here is he's a Jedi, which we weren't sure. We thought maybe he'd get an online Force user, and a Spectre. So that'll be huge. He is definitely confirmed. He's Ahsoka's lifter unit. Really important things to take away from here is, let's see, Conquest, and it starts September 2nd, which we already knew. Who gets the Spectre Tag? We'll talk about this a lot more a little later. There's like a blue box popping up. Oh, that's here. Yep. The crew of the Ghost, and by extension Ahsoka Tano, which we'll really talk more about, were codenamed Spectres on their missions. We thought this was a nice nod to tie all these characters together and find a unified tag without doing specific name calls. That's great. They talk about the details of Exile and Isolate. We won't get super in depth in the kit. Like, we'll read it, give initial impression, but we'll see him in game, and we'll get to see how Exile is going to play out. Will Ezra be unlockable before Ahsoka Tano? Yes. That means we have 3.5 months until the earliest Ahsoka could possibly land in the game, which is huge. That means that all of the characters we've gotten will be farmable, even for just a short time on like Enoch, but all of them will be farmable before Ahsoka Tano comes out. He's not required to unlock Ahsoka, which is big. I didn't think they would do it, but I'm glad that we got confirmation he's definitely not. Let's talk a little bit about the kit, but again, we won't spend too long talking about the kit here. Physical demonstrating speed down 3 turns of long duration, crits. He gets Foresight another Foresight for 1 turn, Random Ally gets Foresight for 1 turn, and targeting me staggered. The stagger on a basic could be big if he has enough crit chance. We'll have to see. It doesn't say it can't be resisted, so he may need a good bit of potency. You've got other debuffs on the basic too, so potency may wind up being good here. Let's take a look at his special one, Kanan's Legacy. This is Omicron, and that's a GAC Omicron. Has recovered 40% health and protection, which is big. That's a mass heal. All Spectre allies and target ally protection up. So this makes it sound like maybe one ally on the team won't get the Spectre tag, but we'll have to see. But at the very least, all Spectre allies, which again pushes me in the direction, and maybe the title of the video gives away. I think that's Ahsoka's. I think that's gonna be Ahsoka's tag. Like, her team will be the Spectre team. I think that's where we're going with this. I know she's getting the tag as they mentioned above, but I think that pretty much confirms it will be the tag for her team. But it does mention that maybe we've got a non-Spectre ally, so that's interesting. 2 turns to spell all debuffs on them. Let's see. Target other ally. Okay, so I think I understand. So grant them all protection up for 2 turns. No, it says on them. Okay, so everyone gets the buff to spell. So yeah, it has to be someone without the Spectre tag that this is picturing. Target ally and Ezra Bridger assist. Okay, and the target ally assist. Okay. And tags. So the only reason I really think this gives away Ahsoka's tags, I think this is saying that Ahsoka's going to get all of these. I know online Force user and Jedi don't really sound like they can be on the same character, but I think if anyone could get them both, I think it could be Ahsoka. I think this is saying that Ahsoka is going to be a Jedi, online Force user, Spectre. I think that gives away her tags, because then she would get all of these buffs, and you're just calling Ahsoka every time. Like, to me, that feels like how they would set this up, so that not everyone on the team is going to be a Jedi, not everyone on the team is going to be an Force user, not everyone on the team is going to be a Spectre, but Ahsoka gets all, and she gets all these awesome buffs when you call her. Usually the target is a Jedi, light side, online Force user, or a Spectre, they get bonus turn. If target is a Spectre, they get extra offense. We know she'll be a Spectre, which again, I think this is leading toward you're going to be calling Ahsoka. He gets really defense, a little bit of taunting there, gains 25 stacks per mitigation. All Spectres gain backup plan. You have a lot of backup plan on this team. You're going to want probably something with anti-revives to take him down to maybe like an SLK, GL, or maybe even Lord Vader. If Lord Vader can get time to ramp, we'll have to see. Big mass cleanse, though, so we'll see if that manages to work. Daring Advance, Zeta Omicron, diffuse damage targeting me 3 times. So that's the 3 times you can help with things like the shield generator or like stacks of B1 battalion, that kind of thing. Otherwise, it's damage. Healing immunity, offense down for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. These can't be resisted. We saw earlier we had some deals on the basic that could be. Reach critical hit score boost targeting me defense by 30%, stacking for 1 turn. I don't think that's that helpful. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see. A 3-turn cooldown, reducing defense by 30% doesn't feel super helpful to me, but We'll see, I guess. Attack gains 2% crit chance for each Spectre ally. If he gets 3 crits, they're stunned. Now that's nice. Can't be dispelled or resisted. So locked, stun, can't be resisted. So the only debuffs can be resisted so far on the basic. So I don't know. It might not be worth building opponents. We'll have to see once we get him out in game. 1 Great Arena for each critical hit. Deal 20% based on target's max health. Can't be evaded. Inflict buff immunity, heal immunity, offense down, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Holy crap. And reduce cooldown by 1. Okay, so that goes back to what I was talking about, the cooldown. So instead of a 3, we got a 2 for the defense reduction. So that maybe feels a little more impactful with the Omicron. Unique. All lights allies gain 4 for 2 turns. All Spectre allies gain tenacity up for 2 turns. He's exiled for the rest of the battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. I'm assuming it's going to be a blue buff. But I guess we'll have to see. It could be a locked green. At the start of Ezra's turn, he gains 2 stacks of resilient defense. So if he has resilient defense, okay, so he's still so he's pre-taunting essentially. First time each ally is exiled, they get 30% crit chance, 60% defense, 100% max other protection. Dang. First time they lose exile, he's exiled for the rest of the battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. So how do you lose exile? That will be interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out. They get 30% crit chance, offense, potency, speed. The first time he's exiled, enemies cannot assist or attack again if their attacks targeting Ezra. When Ezra loses exile for the first... when he performs an ability, call a random ally to assist. Okay. All Spectre allies have instant defeat immunity while Ezra's active. Wow. Anti-JMK cat, anti-Jabba ult. That's crazy. Exile, here we go. Cannot attack, gain buffs, or gain positive effects during another character's turn. Interesting. Rebels can't gain buffs. Any characters who damage them gain. Okay. While green, first time they lose exile, they also get relic mastery. Wow. And more speed. So I'm still not seeing how you lose exile though. Ezra has 1% crit chance whenever he's inflicted with a debuff. He recovers 25% health. Light side allies cannot have their cooldowns manipulated by enemies. So cooldown increases. Will not do anything. So this is not like a Leia. Like no one in the battle can have their cooldowns reduced. It's just going to be. Your team can't have cooldowns reduced, and that's probably just to prevent some crazy interaction with other team members or just some crazy thing. It's just CG, basically CYA. They're just covering their butt on that. So whenever usability against high stack Purgle, migration, max 50, rest of the battle. Does damage to enemy, he gets 2 stacks. If it crits, he gets 5. When he hits 50, bonus turn, recovers 100% max health protection. There we go. The next enemy Ezra damages with an ability will be exiled for the rest of the battle, which cannot be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted. All enemies are inflicted with ability block, which cannot be copied, dispelled, or evaded, and Ezra loses exile. So there we go. So, deal damage, you get 50 stacks of Purgle Migration, then you drop off the exile, and you get all those nice bonuses about losing exile. And you get 1% tenacity. So this is going to be tanky. He's going to be a tanky, healing, buffing, debuffing sport. That's where we're at with him. That, in my opinion, now this leads to the more interesting conversation. Spectre Tag. Let's talk about first. And this is my placeholder for GL Ahsoka. Let me flip Chrome on. This is my placeholder for GL Ahsoka right now, because we don't have her in game yet. I think GL Ahsoka obviously is getting a Spectre Tag. That's been confirmed. So there's Spectre 1. I know not literally Spectre 1, they had numbers, but this is our first Spectre. Second Spectre is going to be the new Ezra. Again, not in game yet, placeholder. New Ahsoka, new Ezra are first 2 Spectres. Who do I think is going to be our next Spectre? And let me hide. It won't come back. I think our next Spectre is going to be Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. I have already predicted her required at Relic 9 in the requirements. I think a lot of people think she'll at least be required. Maybe the Relic 9's wrong, but I think we're pretty confident she's going to be required. It makes complete sense for her to get the Spectre Tag. They literally said Ahsoka by extension. This was the Ahsoka in Rebels. Why wouldn't she get Spectre? She went with them on missions. She fought with them. She should get Spectre Tag. And to me, that means easy slot into that team. It also checks Unaligned Force User box. So we've got a Spectre Unaligned Force User here. We've got, I'll just go ahead and show the rest of the list. It's fine. We've got a Jedi Spectre with new Ezra. And new Ahsoka, I still think, will be Jedi, Unaligned Force User, and Spectre. Then we've got Sabine, and it's a question of will they do... I think we're done with marquees, I really do. But if they do another marquee, it'll definitely be Padawan Sabine. I think we can all agree that that's the most likely marquee character for us to get, if we get another one. But at the very least, if it's old Sabine, that's just Spectre. Easy, slap it on. If we get a new Sabine, it'll probably wind up being Jedi Spectre. Probably won't be UFU Spectre because she's training, with Huang. She's trained to be a Jedi Padawan. So I think she would wind up getting Jedi Spectre. But if we do, we could always get both tags here, and then I think old Ezra could get the Spectre tag slapped on. All the Phoenix might get the Spectre tag slapped on, and it might just wind up being you don't want to break up your other Phoenix, or maybe Captain Rex won't get the Spectre tag. That way he can't be pulled over here. That's maybe what they would do for balance. Maybe Captain Rex wouldn't get it. That way you don't have to worry about crazy balance interactions with like C-Rex in here. Let me move my webcam to the other side. Give me a second. I'm blocking Ezra. So anyway, 1 member, 2 member, 3 member, 4 member with Sabine. This goes back to, do we think there'll be any non-Spectre members? Well, there's 4. I feel confident in these 4. Whether this is a new Sabine, old, or it could be both, and that's 5. I'm stretching a little bit, maybe Ezra. But my guess is if we're going to get a marquee, it's going to be a new Sabine. So it'll be Ahsoka Tano GL. It'll be Ezra Bridger Exile, Fulcrum, and then a new Sabine. And that's your 4 Spectres. And then you go back to Ezra's kit. If I can pull that back up here. Give me a moment. I believe it's, this special. You go back here, and it's grant Spectre allies and target ally protection up. So, I don't know. But, it could also just be for this. It could just be target allies controlling who assists. So that's all that is. It might not be anything significant, but it could mean, like with Leia, Leia's a great example that we don't have. I just cut my webcam on twice. We don't have 4 proper members or don't have 5 proper members for Leia, right? If I go look at Leia, it's these 3 that are the core. The rest of this is up in the air. Old Ben's really common. Baze is common, but it's up in the air. These are the core 3. So Ahsoka could be the same way. It could be Ahsoka, Ezra Bridger Exile, Fulcrum, and then 2 more that are not Spectre necessarily, maybe just random UFUs or random Jedi that plug in. But my assumption is going to be Sabine's not being used anywhere if we're talking old Sabine, so it would be an easy one for them to plug in, or it'll be a new Padawan Sabine. But that is all the news that we've got to talk about today, and I will see you guys in the next one. But let me know, what you think. Do you think we're going to get more marquees? I think we're done. If we're getting Ahsoka in 3 months, the new marquees wouldn't be farmable in time. We would need to get... I think if we're going to get another marquee, it needs to be in the next 2 weeks. So I think these next 2 weeks are critical for if we're getting more marquees or not. If we don't get any more marquees, I think that I'm really confident Bo is going to be needed, because there's no way that they would make it 1 less marquee than Leia, but then just 1 legendary character in gas. So I don't see him doing it. And I know that's not what people want to hear, but I hope for everyone else that it's not Bo. But it's seeming more and more like we're going to need Bo. So we'll see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think on the Spectre tag. Is there anybody I forgot? I wish we had Callus in game. Give him the Spectre tag. Zab maybe. He's not being used either, but he's not very good. So he would need like a big kit touch up to really become relevant with this. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll see you guys in the next one.